Greetings, friends. Once again, it's an honor to welcome you back to Rick's Garage. Today will be an edition of Rick's Farm and Garden. I'm going to be cleaning the ethanol out of this carburetor today. This is a shortened version of a video I just posted. It dawned on me that some of you may be only interested in the cleaning of the carburetor and not what I did to remove the carburetor from the device. So that's what this is, a shortened version of the video I just posted. If you want to see the entire video, I'll link it at the end of this one. Okay, friends, if you're familiar with my channel, you'll recognize this as a bench I have outside the garage. The reason I have this bench is for working with things that cause fumes. My lungs are not the best these days. I'm almost 70. So what we've got to work with here, I got the needle nose pliers, a 10mm wrench, a screwdriver. This is my carburetor cleaning kit. It's got a little mini file with it, all kinds of real fine rods, little fine pipe cleaner type things. And so this is what I'm going to use to clean the carburetor. Also, I have some carburetor choke and throttle body cleaner that I'm going to use. So before I start disassembling this carburetor, I'm going to spray it with some of this carburetor choke cleaner. I'm just going to kind of spray it down, get all the rubbiness off of it. Okay. All right, that works. All right. And I'm going to remove the bowl, the 10mm. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is spray inside the bowl here. And then take a cloth and I'm going to wipe it out really good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright, so I got that nice and clean. Okay, next I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully remove the float. I'm going to pull this little pin out. I'm going to throw it inside the bowl so I don't lose it. Everything that I take apart I'm going to throw inside the bowl. And I'm going to carefully remove this float. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to take off here is this jet here. A lot of times this jet on the outside here is the culprit. So this controls the idle of the machine, so you want to kind of screw it back in about the same amount that it's sticking out. It looks to me like it's sticking out about 1/8 of an inch, so I'm just going to keep that in mind, and that's what I'm going to do. It don't have to be exact. So I'm going to take and unscrew this thing, this little keeper here, so I can get that jet out of there. Quite often that's all you have to clean on these things is just this big jet, but I'm going to do the best I can to clean up everything. It's kind of a hit or miss when you try to clean a carburetor, but you got nothing to lose because the alternative is to buy a new carburetor. So before I spend the money on a new carburetor, I'm going to try to clean this one. Here's that jet I was talking about. Okay, so now it's just a simple matter of taking my kit and trying to run it through every single hole that I can find. I just brought out my little air hose with a little needle nozzle on it. In addition to clearing the passages, I'm going to attempt to blow them out as well. So I'm just going to take these holes one at a time and run a rod through it. Now you don't want to resize a hole. So if the rod you select doesn't fit, get a smaller one. And see, that goes through quite nicely. And there's another hole right here. This rod seems to fit through quite nicely. And I've got a larger hole here So now I'm going to blow air through those two holes I just cleared. Okay. So now I'm going to turn it upside down, and I've got another hole right here. This rod seems to fit through it quite nicely. And I've got another jet right in the bottom here. This one's a little bit too big, so we'll go with a little bit smaller one. One doesn't want to go in either, so we'll go with a real tiny one. Okay, that one fits through nicely. Okay, and now I'm going to blow air through both of those. Okay. So now, let's look on this side, and it looks like we've got a hole right here. So it's a little bit too big to get down in there, so we'll get a smaller one. Like I said, don't force these. There's all different sizes, so if you get one a little bit too big, get the next smaller one. That one still doesn't want to go in, so we'll get even yet another smaller one. We'll use one of these. Let's try this one right here. Yeah, that one goes through. Okay. And I'm going to blow some air through that one. All right. So it looks like all the holes on this carburetor itself that I can get at, I've gotten to. So I just want to make sure that air is coming through the where the inlet is. It's blowing through there quite nicely. So looks like we're done with that. Now I'm going to turn to this little jet over here. Alright, this has a very tiny orifice in it, so we're going to get our very smallest rod that we have, which appears to be this one right here, and we're going to run that through there. Okay, and run it through this side here. Alright, now I'm going to blow air into this. And I'm going to hold it up in the sun and see if I can see light coming through it. And yes, indeed, I did see light coming through it. So it looks like we're all set with this. So we've done everything we can do to this carburetor. Sometimes there are cross holes that you can't get at. If one of those happens to be clogged, then you're going to wind up buying a new carburetor anyway. Like I said, this is hit or miss. Most of the time unsuccessful, but every once in a while you do have to actually go out and get another carburetor. So we're going to put this back together and we'll try it out. So I'm going to put this jet back in, and let me turn it to the way it goes. As you recall, it was crossways. Press it down in with your thumb. We're going to put the screw back in. Now, as you may recall, I said it was sticking out about 1/8 of an inch. It looks like it's not quite there. That looks just about right to me. Okay, so that's back in. And now we're going to carefully reinstall the float. Before I put the float in, I want to check the needle point and make sure that's clean. Yep, that's nice and clean. And we're going to get it inside where it goes. And then we're going to carefully put the little steel rod down. I'm working outside, so by all means do not dump this thing in the grass because you'll never find it. It'll be looking like the proverbial needle in a haystack. Okay, that's good. So I just want to make sure it holds down. Now one little test I'm going to do. I should be able to blow air through this when this is hanging down. And yes, I can. And when it's upside down, I should not be able to blow air through it. And I cannot. So that's working properly. Alright, so now make sure your gasket is okay. You can see my gasket is still where it's supposed to be. So I don't really remember exactly where this nut was, and I don't think it really matters which way it fits. So we're going to screw this back in and tighten it down. Okay, so now we're ready to put it back on the machine and try it out. Okay friends, I just loaded it up with fuel. So now's the big test. Let's find out if it'll run. Well, I didn't expect that. It started on the very first pull. So evidently our carburetor repair was successful. And we don't expect to have any more trouble with it because I'm going to use nothing but true fuel in it from now on. So I want to thank you once again for watching Rick's Garage, aka Rick's Farm and Garden. And before I go, I will post two videos to your left. I'll post a video where I did this procedure on my snowblower and started using true fuel on that. And hopefully I'll have one other video that you find of interest. Feel free to click on either one of them. And to your right, as always, will be a picture of my avatar in the form of my trusty German Shepherd. By all means, feel free to click on that should you wish to subscribe to my channel. So thanks again for watching, and we hope to see you all very, very soon.